resonates with me. Some people like dancing, some like walking in the woods. What we want to do is find what resonates with us. It's called brain dump.
People live in their head. How we are going to address it, how we are going to bounce back. That's the key element of.
And fear of losing your loved ones. So much engrossed into hospital that you didn't know whether I was going to come back at home or 3 to 4 pages of uninhibited writing. Book is a consolidation of all that journaling. You are getting rid of all the emotional baggage. Started seeing changes every day.
Welcome to another series of Faza podcast. We love to call this series Head to Heart. Quite a name, isn't it? I have fallen in love with it, and I'm sure you will fall in love with it too. My guest this season is a loving daughter, a wonderful sister, a beautiful wife, a sweet mother of 2, and a great friend. But she's also a consultant pediatrician working with NHS. She is the chair of East Midlands Pediatric Respiratory Society, a trust wellbeing champion, and a mentoring advisor for Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health. Too many things, all in one. I bring to you Dr. Renu Khetan. Dr. Renu Khetan is not just all of what I have mentioned, but she is also an author. I'm proud to show you this book, which has changed my way of thinking about life. I introduce you to Dr. Renu Khetan. Hello, Renu.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you.
Welcome to Faza podcast. And how's been your day till now?
Busy, I think.
Great. With so many roles,
Yeah.
You must be a very busy person. Very understandable. Renu, I'll quickly come to the reason we are doing this podcast. I remember having met you on the launch of this book of yours. And when I took up this book in my hand at home when I was going to bed, I started reading. It took me an hour before I could put it down. Mm-hmm. You have put so many things together, and everything is so real, so common for most of us. The point here that strikes me most is the elaboration on head to heart. Mm-hmm. I remember in your speech you had mentioned people live in their head these days, especially. And it is necessary to connect to their heart or bring a balance between head to heart. Mm-hmm. From there, it struck me, if ever I was going to make a podcast with you, I must be calling it Head to Heart. Would you please tell me the reason behind it?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to come and talk to you and spread awareness of what I have been doing and what I have been up to apart from being a pediatrician. See, Annu, we are living in this fast-paced world. We are constantly playing a catch-up game, aren't we?
Yes.
We are overstressed, overthinking. We are analyzing and planning, which is important as well. But we are trapped in our heads. Yeah.
Why do you say so?
We are catching up with what is going on, the AI, the social media, things like that. We also carry the baggage of past experience. So we are either in the past or thinking of the uncertain future. And we are totally missing out and living in the present moment. Then what happens is this causes disconnect between the head and the heart.
Okay.
Between the thoughts and the emotions. We don't have time to sit and talk and think about what we are feeling.
Okay.
And this causes suppression of our emotions probably. And this comes out as anxiety, fear, depression, anger, frustration. All these are outcomes of those unmet or unresolved emotions. We are missing out on those nuances of emotions in our day-to-day life. So I think the journey from head to heart is mainly to bring that alignment between the head and the heart.
Okay. So we must understand that the perspective of head is the logical person and the heart is the emotional person.
Correct.
So we have to balance the logical person with the emotional person, and we have to give equal importance to both.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot have excess of the head or excess of heart. There has to be an alignment. And once you're aligned, you are staying in line with your purpose, your values, rather than remaining or working as a hurt child.
Okay, that sounds really great. But where does this journey start from?
So essentially, what I'm trying to say is this mental noise, it causes a lot of emotional pain.
So, so the journey starts by identifying pain.
Yeah, you so day to day life we may not obviously define what is going on, but subconsciously a lot of things go on with us, don't they? And identifying them, observing them is the first step towards healing.
Okay, so identifying stress, identifying the pain points is most important to start the journey, and from there starts the journey of healing.
Yeah,
That's what you mean.
absolutely.
Great. But how would you define pain?
Yeah. So pain can be physical, it can be emotional. When you have a physical pain, it tries to tell you that there is something out of balance, physical or mental. When you have physical pain, it tells you that there is an injury or there is some kind of illness, right? But for emotional pain, it basically signifies that there is some unresolved issues or unmet needs or things that have been not resolved, like emotional trauma from the past as well. So that is an emotional pain.
Okay.
And these, you cannot go away from these triggers. They are messengers. They are telling you that you have to do something about it, that you have to go behind the scenes and find out what is the true cause of that pain
Okay.
and observe them and acknowledge them. Once you start observing and acknowledging, your journey towards resolving them starts.
Okay. So, say for example, if it is a physical pain, we understand that we have been having this pain for a long time, we go and visit a doctor.
Yeah?
When we figure out that we have an emotional baggage or a pain
Yeah?
which is related to something that must have happened
Yeah?
in the past or something that's happening that you are not absolutely able to accept. So you would say we can call that as pain too. And identifying that, what is the next step that we should do? Who do we consult? What do we do? Or how do we, once we have recognized, what is the next thing for us to do?
Yeah, so the most important thing is by merely observing what you're going through. Say, for example, I have been living in anxiety for years.
Okay.
I had this anxiety of moving to a new country, starting all over again. So, that anxiety, identifying that anxiety in the first place is the first step, right? The next step is observing why is it that I'm anxious, what is causing the anxiety. So observing the cause of the pain itself helps you work from your finest part of the brain.
Okay.
The finest part of the brain is called the neocortex, right? So when you start thinking from the neocortex, that itself helps you clarify, gives you clarity of thinking, and you have different perspective of that problem. And once you have clarity of thinking, you start making better decisions,
Okay.
you start taking better actions, you start having better results, and at the end of the day you become happy and fulfilled, and that's what you want in life, don't you?
And what exactly is your definition of happiness?
Right. I think happiness and healing are very closely linked.
Okay.
When I'm saying that you want to heal every day, healing is a lifestyle, right?
Okay.
And if you're saying that you have to heal every day, which means that you are getting rid of all the emotional baggage.
Great.
Once you are free of emotional baggage, you have an additional layer of contentment. You don't think from a hurt child, as I said before. You are thinking from the place of calm and peace.
Okay.
And that leads to happiness
Okay.
and fulfillment. Happiness is basically an external triggered situation, and fulfillment is more deeper than happiness.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah.
So you said we have to.
Happiness is a byproduct of fulfillment.
Okay. So the path looks something like this. Identify the pain. Once you have identified, your brain itself is capable of starting the healing process.
Yeah.
And healing is a regular affair. It's a journey which goes on, carries on.
Yeah.
As healing goes on, each single day you are able to take new food for your brain. So you are living in the present. You are able to connect. You are revitalizing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And therefore you are a happy person and you lead to a fulfilled life.
Yeah, it's a
Is
journey.
that the journey?
Yeah, it's a journey. It's not a destination, is it?
Great.
It's a journey, and every day you have to make sure that you revitalize. You have a shower every day, don't you?
Yes.
You brush your teeth every day. You don't do it just once for all. You do it every day, and similarly, you have to heal yourself every day, and that's what it is all about.
Okay. My next question would be, can we live in this state of happiness forever? Because there's so much happening in life. We are struck by tragedies, loss of some near and dear one. Sometimes the work stress can really take you down because that is a situation you have to address. Sometimes situations at home can be very stressful or demanding at least.
Yeah.
For example, exams of our children can be quite demanding because you can see that a certain amount of effort needs to be put in for your child to have a beautiful life.
Yeah.
Therefore, it is an extra baggage, definitely, because you are responsible. So, keeping all that in mind, would you say it is possible for us to be happy every single day?
No, we cannot be happy forever, but if you are observing and healing every day, if you know the principles, these principles that we've just spoken, you bounce back quickly. You become more resilient. You know how to handle with clarity in your head. You make decisions and you take actions. And you resolve things easily and more resiliently. That's the purpose.
Okay.
You cannot get rid of loss, tragedy, sadness, anger. You can't get rid of them. They will come, but how you respond to them is the way of life. If you are resilient, if you are prepared and you bounce back easily, that is the whole purpose of healing. But a healed self, a person who is healing every day, who's healed, has an innate ability to be more creative, to have more insights, to have more clear thinking, decision making, performing peak performance, what we say, and having good results at the end of the day.
But as we had initiated the discussion, you told me that healing is a regular process and that makes us happy. And obviously, it's linked with our performance, day-to-day performance and happiness. And we all want to be that. Definitely, you and me all are wanting to be that. But just identifying the pain points or acknowledging that I'm going through this, is that the only way, or are there better ways to keep up with this, to make about the change?
There are many ways. You can say that there are many ways. It depends on what resonates with you.
Okay.
Meditation resonates with me. Exercise resonates with one of my other friends. Some people like dancing, some like walking in the woods, some like gratitude. Yeah. What we want to do is find what resonates with us.
Okay.
Yeah. So essentially, what we need to do is cultivate practices that promote the joy and contentment regardless of any external situation.
Meaning, what kind of practices?
So you can practice meditation, mindfulness, gratitude. Just what are you grateful for? I get up in the morning. I practice all of them. I have a little agenda. I practice every day. Wake up in the morning and take my journal out, and I write 10 things I'm grateful of.
Okay.
So I write, I'm grateful to have a lovely sleep at night. I'm grateful to have my kids. I'm grateful to have, a good job that I can feed my family, and all sorts of things that I feel. Then I write about what is the most pressing issue. Um, it's called brain dump. So I dump everything in the
Okay.
journal. So those are the different ways. Then I do a brief 5-minute exercise fast to remove all the restlessness in my body. So that is the second thing, and some deep breathing.
Okay.
So those are things that I do to
Somebody
help.
else may like something else. Somebody
People,
may wake up, have a drink, and then
yeah,
start exercising.
or they might just go for a walk,
They might go for a walk.
or they
Yes.
might just go for a gym. So it depends on what you want. So develop those practices. There's no harm in keeping an open mind. So if you don't believe in something, you need to keep yourself up to date and find why you should be doing something else as well. So just be open and develop practices, but do it consistently.
Okay. So consistency is key.
Yeah.
And you're saying by doing these kind of activities, we can get rid of the stress, be more focused towards life,
Yeah.
live in the present, and therefore be able to handle the pain points and be little more happy,
Yeah.
stress free,
Bounce back quickly. So
bounce back quickly.
it doesn't affect you as much then.
Okay.
The pain is going to come to you. It's going to come to me. It's going to come to all of us. We can't stop that. But what we can control is how we deal with them.
So the idea is to prepare the mind, so make the mind immune towards the pain that we definitely are going to face and how we are going to address it,
Yeah.
how we are going to bounce back. That's the key element
Yeah.
of being a happy person.
Yeah. That's why the book is called Becoming a Badass Meditator.
Okay.
Is because you have to be that resilient, that fearless, that empowered, that you can change the reality you are in. It's not simply just meditating in quiet, like like how we were told in the past.
Right. Now, coming to the book, I remember when I took it up, as I was mentioning earlier, I couldn't put it down for an hour because the first bit of it does not talk much about meditation. It talks about you as a person, your pain, your why did you need to take up meditation and all of that. Would you kindly tell us a little more about why did you need to practice this art? Because as mentioned in the book, it's not very far from now when you had started. It's quite recent a practice that you are into, right? And why did you need to do it?
Well, I think it's not very recent. I came to know about the research and science behind it recently, but I have been meditating for last 25 years.
Okay.
And I clearly remember 2000, it was year 2000. My dad was diagnosed to have cancer. I was completely broke financially, medically. My health was also down in dumps. My dad was not well. So I did not have any other option but to find something that will give me some peace of mind.
Okay.
So I was told, why not meditate? So I started meditation because there was no other option for me. And like what people tell us is it will give you peace of mind. I did not know why should I meditate and how it will work and why I was doing what I was doing. I had
So
no
I'll
clue.
interrupt you here. You said that you have been meditating for past 25 years, but then exactly the same thing I figured out that it was during pandemic where
Yeah.
you were in your absolute low that you actually started practicing this
Yeah.
with regularity and you got benefits.
So regular plus I knew the science behind it, and the main thing is because we were so much into that pandemic and fear of losing your loved ones, so much engrossed into hospital that you didn't know whether I was going to come back at home or not because it is that kind of situation. It was really scary, wasn't it? So that made me do the meditation regularly and also read about it, find and research about it, and then when I got that knowledge of the science, my practice really consolidated and I started seeing changes every day.
Okay.
The levels of contentment, the levels of calmness, the way I was handling everything completely changed. So it was quite it is still continuing to be very transformative.
And you're practicing it regularly till this day.
Yeah, it's like yeah. So when I first started, I was going back. When I first started, I had lots and lots of doubts.
Okay.
I procrastinated. I stopped. I did not believe in it. I thought, what the hell am I doing? How is it going to change the whirlwind of my life? It's not going to change, is it? And then I moved to a new country, doing everything all over again, trying to prove myself. It was just, I was again in shambles. So each time I was in a good state, I thought it is because of my hard work. I never believed in meditation that it must have had some kind of effect. But since COVID, since I know more about the science behind meditation, and since then my practice has been, I would miss anything but meditation.
But
I
meditation.
wake up in the morning and without any rigidity around the practice, I just sit and meditate because that's the best time according to me.
So that gives you enormous joy now.
Not only joy, it's not about, I don't think it's only joy, it sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Okay.
It gives me that focus, that concentration, that clarity to make decisions. I'm in a very emotive environment all the time. It's pediatrics, when children are unwell, get resuscitations, get all sorts of life and death decisions, workforce problems. So I get that clarity in my head how my day is going to chop out, and how I'm going to be in the day. Yet when I come back, I have to then look after the kids as if it is a second part of the start of the day, as you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think meditation is the backbone of my day.
Okay. Fantastic. You are such a busy person. Yet you managed to write this book. And when did you exactly start writing the book?
So you remember I told you about journaling?
Yes.
I put everything in the journal. I've been doing that for a while, so
Okay.
intermittently. But in the last 5 years, I've been practically doing it every day. At
Okay.
least three to four pages of uninhibited writing
Each day.
each day. So,
Okay.
and on the way from home to work, I listen to books. And then the following day, then I write about the book, the key points that I've learned from the book, and also what's going on in my head. And this book is a consolidation of all that journaling.
Okay.
So yeah, this book is, I've not invented anything in this book, but I've just smartly put ancient wisdom into with modern science into a very practical framework of what to do exactly.
That I would agree. I mean, you have backed a very traditional, a very ancient methodology of meditation with a very new thought process, which is backed by science and neurological explanations that you have provided, and how meditation brings about a change in your mind and body, and science proves it. So, which I think is a great read. That exactly was the reason why I said I couldn't put the book down for an hour on that very night. I was so absolutely tired. It was a very long day for me. I'd done a full day of work. Then I had attended your book release. And when I went back after dinner, there was so much to do. Yet I kept on reading as if I wanted to, devour it completely. I wanted to,
That's great.
be there in that state. I myself have heard about meditation, the amount of trial that I have put myself through in meditation. As you have mentioned, your earlier phase from last 25 years, it was quite inconsistent. So, our knowledge around meditation is not so solid.
No.
But your book talks about meditation in a very different way. Another important thing that I loved about it is when you mentioned that you don't have to sit down in a position to meditate. You could do multiple things, and even that are classed as meditation.
Yeah, so meditation, historically people close the eyes, want to sit straight without any disturbance, well, that can happen. You can do it that way, but meditations can happen with eyes open as well. When you are in deep sleep as well as when you are actually consciously meditating. So there are different levels of meditation. We are only touching the surface here.
Right. I would love to do meditation when in deep sleep. Think about it. You're sleeping, yet you are doing some kind of job. Life is too short for doing everything. But it is necessary for us to enjoy everything possible while we are living. And I definitely want to enjoy meditation. I want to take that benefit out of it. And as Dr. Renu says, that there are loads of benefits. Most importantly, you can achieve what you think you want to. That's the greatest take from this book, that if you have thought about it, you can achieve it. And that can come through meditation. Most of us want to do that. But I would like to do that in deep sleep, not waste my time elsewhere. And while I'm sleeping, I'm meditating. Think about it.
That will take a lot of training your brain. So
Okay.
You have to really train your brain to be able to meditate in deep sleep. That's called lucid dreaming.
Oh.
And that is very advanced. We'll come to that when time comes, but I think we should talk about basics first.
Right. So we have talked about why the book.
Yeah.
So the book majorly is a wedding of traditional meditation methods to scientific research that now backs up meditation. Right?
So we can say that if you have experience of meditation but no knowledge, it is chaos.
Okay.
Right? If you have knowledge but no experience, it's a dusted library.
Okay.
But if you have experience and knowledge, that is equal to transformation.
Fantastic. So now you have known it. We'll continue to the next episode of this series called Head to Heart with Dr. Renu. I'm your host Annu on Faza Podcast.